Once upon a time, in the quiet town of Horse Cave, there was a brave guy named Marshal Jim Dillon. He was the top cop in town, sworn to keep things peaceful for the fewer than 1,000 people there. Jim had a trusty sidekick named Deputy Matt Reynolds. They were like Batman and Robin of the town. One sunny day, peace was disturbed when two tough-looking bikers entered the town. Matt, being curious, asked Jim why these bikers were here so early in the morning. Biker gangs rarely visited their town. Jim just shrugged it off, thinking maybe they took a wrong turn. But as the bikers strolled into a cafe, everyone got suspicious. There was this guy named Shovelhead who made a big fuss. He demanded a beer from the cafe owner, Kathy, who politely refused. Shovelhead got angry, and Kathy had to defend herself by hitting him with a bottle. Shovelhead challenged Kathy to a fight. His buddy, Jarhead, just stood there watching. Thankfully, Marshal Jim rushed to the cafe and ended the fight by taking down Shovelhead. He hauled Shovelhead to the police station, leaving Jarhead behind. Now, at the police station, Jim felt that something was fishy about these bikers. He asked Matt to take Shovelhead to the bigger police station in the nearby city, while he stayed to protect their town. Jim's instincts were right. As Matt drove away, the other biker gang sneaked into town. It turns out Shovelhead was just a distraction. With fewer cops guarding the town, the gang planned to mess with the power station and plunge the city into darkness. Meanwhile, Jim was at Kathy's cafe, trying to flirt with her, when the lights suddenly went out. He realized something was wrong and rushed back to the police station. On his way to the city, poor Matt stumbled upon a guy lying by the road, pretending to be hurt. But it was a trap. The guy was from the biker gang, and he pulled a gun on Matt, making him their hostage. And that wasn't the only trap. On the other side of town, a cop pulled over a speeding van. As he approached the van, some sneaky gang members shot him dead. One of the gang members, Dirty Bob, even put on the dead cop's uniform and stole his patrol car. It was a wild and dangerous day in Horse Cave. Meanwhile, Jim hurried back to his office, trying desperately to reach another police station. But the gang was one step ahead, messing with the phone signals. It was like Horse Cave had turned into an island, cut off from the outside world. Just as Jim was about to give up, he heard the unmistakable roar of motorcycles approaching the police station. He dashed outside, only to find the gang entering the town. Seeing their rivals made Jim ponder deeply about their next move. But amid his thoughts, he failed to notice Jarhead sneaking up behind him, gun aimed. It was then revealed that the gang's target was the bank. The gang leader, Diablo, was a local, so he knew the town inside out, including Jim's strengths and weaknesses. This knowledge made it easier for him to plan this heist. Diablo had even placed one of his own as a bank teller to ensure everything went smoothly. After rounding up all the bank employees, he ordered the manager to open the safe. The gang grabbed all the money they could get their hands on. Diablo had an ace. He knew a casino was about to deposit millions of dollars into the bank today, and wanted that money too. So, they patiently waited for the armored truck carrying the casino's riches. Unbeknownst to the guards, cut off from the world outside, someone started shooting at them from a hidden spot. It turned out to be an old man from town, a crack shot. He picked off gang members individually, forcing the rest to take cover. Seizing the chaos, Jim and Matt escaped, but didn't notice a woman nearby. She tried to flee but got caught by Diablo, who used her as a hostage. Threatening to shoot her if the old man didn't reveal himself, the man had no choice but to show himself. He couldn't let Diablo harm his wife, but Diablo had no mercy. He shot the old man dead. Now, the woman has become a pawn in Diablo's twisted game. He threatened Jim and Matt, demanding their surrender or he'd kill her too. Panic set in, and Matt tried to sound the alarm at the store where they were hiding, but this only enraged Diablo further. As a result, he shot the woman. Realizing they couldn't handle the gang head-on, Jim set a trap inside the store. They slipped out the back door as some gang members approached the building. Jim had rigged the store's door to explode upon opening. With Jim and Matt gone, Diablo and his gang focused on their major prize, the armored truck. They stayed inside the bank, waiting to ambush the guards as soon as they arrived. When the truck pulled up, the driver sensed something was amiss. Suspicion hung heavy in the air. He asked his partner to check the bank while he stayed in the truck, unaware that Diablo and his gang were waiting inside. After getting the money from the truck, Diablo and his gang rushed to the church, holding the citizens and bank employees hostage. Diablo took Kathy outside the church, planning to use her as leverage against Jim and Matt. At this moment, Matt was near the church with his long barrel rifle, ready to take a shot at Diablo and his gang. But Jim stopped him. He knew Matt wasn't a great shot from a distance and was worried the bullet might hit Kathy, who was close to Diablo. Matt didn't want to stand by and watch, so he surrendered himself to Diablo, hoping it would persuade him to release Kathy. However, Jim still took a shot. He saw Matt give himself up, but continued firing at one of the gang members. This angered Diablo, who ordered some men to take Kathy and Matt back into the church while they hunted down Jim. Little did they know that Jim had set traps around town, including one in a car that exploded when someone opened the door. Inside the church, Kathy discovered a radio in one of the rooms and realized they could call for reinforcements from nearby police stations. Matt agreed to try it. So while Diablo's men were distracted, he reached the room and successfully called for help. Meanwhile, Kathy noticed that one of Diablo's men was not paying close attention. She saw her chance and attacked, taking the gang member's gun. After eliminating Diablo's men, she directed all the prisoners to a safe place on the other side of town. Jim was engaged in a gunfight with Diablo and one of his henchmen. After a fierce exchange of gunfire, Jim took down the henchman, but Diablo escaped to his car, where his other men were waiting. The henchman informed Diablo that police from a neighboring town were on their way, and they needed to leave immediately with the stolen money. Diablo abandoned the chase for Jim. His priority was escaping before the police arrived. But just as Diablo was about to flee, Jim reappeared and shot at Diablo's car, causing it to crash onto the road. Diablo was helpless. His leg was injured, making him unable to run. Jim had decided not to spare Diablo. He'd caused so much harm, and Jim believed his only punishment was death. So, he shot Diablo, ending his reign of terror. As the film concluded, peace seemed to return to Horse Cave. Jim returned to his job as a cop and had a new girlfriend, Kathy, by his side.